The hum of fluorescent lights filled Lisa's small apartment, casting a sterile glow over her cluttered desk. Papers strewn with scribbled equations, flowcharts, and data points lay in chaotic harmony, a testament to her singular obsession, the perfect match theory. Lisa, a biologist with a penchant for precision, had spent months, years even, crafting a system to find her ideal partner. Her algorithm wasn't just a whim, it was a masterpiece, a symphony of logic designed also to filter out the noise of human imperfection and lead her to true love. 5 feet 10 inches, blonde, well-built, Aries of the first decan, not interested in biology, fixable flaws in brackets. These were her criteria, her gospel, though etched into the glowing screen of her iPad, which she clutched like a sacred relic. Lisa leaned back in her chair, her dark hair pulled into a messy bun, her glasses slipping down her nose. The gym across the street blared with the rhythmic thud of weights, a world she rarely entered. She preferred the quiet certainty of her data, the predictable patterns of her algorithm. "This," she whispered to herself, tapping the iPad, "will give me a family, a healthy offspring, a life that makes sense." Schubert's piano sonata played softly in the background, a nod to her love for order and beauty as she fine-tuned her criteria. She imagined her future, a partner who fit her mold, a life as neatly organized as her spreadsheets. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. The trouble began on a crisp autumn evening, when the air carried the faint scent of rain and the city buzzed with restless energy. Lisa had ventured out to a local coffee shop, her iPad tucked securely under her arm, to work on her algorithm in a new environment. She sat by the window, her fingers flying across the screen, when a stranger approached her table. He was tall, with a rugged charm that didn't align with her criteria. His dark hair fell messily over his forehead, and his leather jacket smelled faintly of cedar and smoke. His name, she'd later learn, was Alex. "Excuse me," he said, his voice low and teasing. "Do you need a companion for this evening?" "I do, boyfriend." He grinned, leaning against the table, his eyes glinting with mischief. Lisa froze, her fingers hovering over the iPad. "I'm not looking for a boyfriend," she said curtly, pushing her glasses up. "I'm developing a system, a unique system based on my own criteria to find the perfect boyfriend." Her tone was clipped, scientific, as if she were explaining a lab experiment. Alex raised an eyebrow, unfazed. "A system, huh? Sounds like a lot of work for something that's supposed to be fun." He glanced at her iPad, and before she could react, he plucked it from her hands. "Let's see this masterpiece." "Hey, hey!" Lisa lunged forward, but Alex held the device just out of reach, scrolling through her meticulously organized charts. "Give it back! That's my property!" He chuckled, his eyes scanning the screen. 5'10", blonde, Aries, not into biology? What is this, a grocery list for a human? He shook his head, his grin widening. "You're a freak, you know that? All this gibberish, it doesn't work. Feelings aren't based on parameters and algorithms. Primitive approach, really." Lisa's cheeks flushed with indignation. "For the record, you don't meet any of my criteria, so I don't want to waste my time on you." "Yeah?" Alex leaned closer, his voice dropping to a playful challenge. "Bet you'll still chase me." She scoffed, but her heart gave an unexpected lurch. There was something infuriatingly magnetic about him, something that didn't fit into her neatly ordered world. And then, in a moment of reckless audacity, he slipped her iPad into his jacket and walked out of the coffee shop, leaving her stunned. Lisa wasn't one to give up easily. Her iPad wasn't just a device. It was the vessel of her life's work, her perfect match theory. She tracked Alex down through a mutual acquaintance at the gym, where he spent most of his evenings. The gym was a cacophony of clanging metal and grunts, a stark contrast to her quiet apartment. She found him by the weight racks, his shirt damp with sweat, his arms flexing as he lifted a barbell. "Give me my iPad back," she demanded, crossing her arms. Alex set the barbell down, wiping his brow with a towel. Why should I? Finders keepers, right? Because it's mine, she snapped. You can't just steal my property. He smirked, stepping closer. Tell you what, one date and it's yours. Lisa blinked, incredulous. That's outrageous. Exactly. He leaned in, his voice softening. One date, 7 p.m. at the Baron Baker. Oh, and do something about those clothes. You don't go to a bar looking like you just left a lab. She glanced down at her practical sweater and jeans, her face burning. What's wrong with my clothes? He didn't answer, just winked and walked away, leaving her fuming and oddly intrigued. No one had ever asked her out like this before. Bold, unapologetic, and entirely outside her algorithm. At 2 minutes to 7, Lisa pushed open the heavy wooden door of the Baron Baker, a cozy pub with dim lighting and the faint scent of oak and whiskey. Her heart raced, not from nerves but from the absurdity of the situation. She'd swapped her sweater for a simple black dress, her hair loose for once, though she felt like an imposter in her own skin. Alex was already there, leaning against the bar, a glass of beer in hand. He looked up, and his eyes widened slightly, a flicker of approval crossing his face. Hi, he said, standing to greet her. He held out a small potted cactus, its spines glinting under the bar's warm lights. This is for you. I thought a cactus would be your thing. They're kind of prickly, like you. Lisa stared at the plant, caught off guard. You're giving me a cactus? Yeah, I raised it myself. His name's Julie Dewey. He grinned, and she couldn't help but laugh, the sound surprising her. Do you want to grab a drink? She hesitated, then nodded. Okay, I'll take care of him. She set the cactus on the table, its presence oddly comforting. They sat at a corner booth, the hum of the pub wrapping around them like a cocoon. Alex ordered another beer, and Lisa sipped a glass of wine, her fingers tracing the rim nervously. So this is your plan? She asked, raising an eyebrow. We just sit here in this pub? It's not just a pub, Alex said, leaning forward. It's a place where people actually talk. You know, without algorithms. She rolled her eyes, but as the night wore on, something shifted. Alex wasn't just a thief or a gym rat. He was funny, thoughtful, and disarmingly genuine. He told her about his love for old books, his dog back home, and the time he tried to grow a garden and ended up with nothing but weeds. She found herself laughing, really laughing, for the first time in months. At one point, she stopped seeing him as a subject in her experiment and started seeing him as Alex. The night took a turn when they stepped outside, the cool air brushing against her skin. Alex noticed her shiver and, without a word, draped his jacket over her shoulders. It smelled of him, cedar, smoke, and something uniquely his. These shoes are uncomfortable, she admitted, wincing as she adjusted her heels. Then take them off, he said. As if it were the most obvious thing in the world, she stared at him. Everyone will think I'm crazy. Let them think. He grinned, kicking off his own sneakers and standing barefoot on the sidewalk. Live a little, scientist. Against her better judgment, she slipped off her heels, the pavement cool beneath her feet. They walked like that, barefoot and laughing, through the quiet streets, the city lights casting long shadows. She noticed the way Alex's eyes crinkled when he smiled, the way his laugh seemed to pull her out of her head and into the moment. For the first time, she felt free, not bound by criteria or calculations, but alive in a way she hadn't expected. They started going out every night, each date a small rebellion against her perfect match theory. Alex took her to dive bars, street markets, even a late-night bookstore where they argued over classic novels. She forgot about her iPad, her algorithm, her carefully curated list. There was something about Alex that didn't exist on her charts. A spark, a warmth, a way of making the ordinary feel extraordinary. One evening, Alex invited her to his apartment for dinner. The invitation felt different, weightier, and Lisa's stomach fluttered with a mix of excitement and nerves. His apartment was small but cozy, with mismatched furniture and shelves overflowing with books. The air smelled of garlic and rosemary from the pasta he'd cooked, and a single candle flickered on the table. As they ate, Alex quoted a line from Fitzgerald, his voice soft but earnest. "Presence makes everything extraordinary." Lisa's fork paused midair. "Did you just quote The Great Gatsby?" He shrugged, a shy smile tugging at his lips. "What, is it against federal law to read books?" She laughed, her heart swelling. "No, it's just unexpected." He reached under the table and pulled out a small wrapped package. "I brought you something." She unwrapped it to find a leather-bound journal, its pages crisp and empty. "For your thoughts," he said. "Not your algorithms." Lisa's throat tightened. I've been thinking." She trailed off, unsure how to articulate the chaos in her mind. "If I had a list, you'd be perfect." But then, across the room, she saw him. A man who fit her criteria to a T. Blonde, blue-eyed, 5'10", an Aries medallion glinting around his neck, a copy of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras in his hands. He was everything her algorithm had promised. Her heart sank as she realized Alex had noticed her staring. "Lisa," he said quietly, his voice tinged with hurt. "What a perfect match, huh?" No, it's not," she stammered, but he was already standing, his expression closed off. "I was wrong to think you'd changed," he said, and before she could stop him, he walked out. Lisa chased after him, but not before the perfect man approached her. "Hi, I'm Alvin," he said, his smile charming, his voice squeaky, like nails on a chalkboard. "I really like you." She stared at him, her algorithm's dream incarnate, and realized one detail could ruin everything. His voice grated on her nerves, shattering the illusion of perfection. She didn't want Alvin. She wanted Alex, the man who smelled of cedar, who gave her a cactus named Julie Dewey, who made her laugh until her sides ached. She found Alex outside, leaning against a street lamp, her iPad in his hands. "You forgot this," he said, holding it out. "Keep it," she said, her voice trembling. "Alex, please, just hear me out. 3 points. First, the iPad, the tablet, the whole theory, it's gone. I don't need it anymore. Second, you're right. Love can't be calculated by any formula. And third," she took a deep breath, her heart pounding, "I think I love you." He blinked, his expression softening. "What?" "I love you," she repeated, louder this time, her voice echoing in the quiet street. "I love you. I love you. I love you." A slow smile spread across his face. "I love you too." In the weeks that followed, Lisa's apartment transformed. The cluttered desk was cleared, her algorithm abandoned. Julie Dewey the cactus sat proudly on her windowsill, a reminder of the night she let go of her need for control. Love, she realized, was beyond science, beyond calculations. It was in the way Alex's hand felt in hers, the way his laugh filled her with warmth, the way he made every moment feel like an adventure. As she stood with Alex in the park one evening, the city lights twinkling around them, she thought of her old criteria, blonde, Aries, 5'10", and laughed. None of it mattered. Love wasn't a checklist. It was a leap, a risk, a beautiful mess. And with Alex by her side, she was ready to embrace it all.